Hello, my crew. The one who got called crazy so many times you started to believe it. Come here, lean in for a second, let's talk. Because today, something shifted in your universe. Someone finally picked up the puzzle pieces everyone kept stomping on, and they put them together. Proof, receipts, evidence, whatever you want to call it. You weren't crazy, and now, they're coming for your justice. You remember how it started, right? You spoke up. You said something's wrong here. And what did they do? They laughed. They rolled their eyes. They said you were overreacting, too sensitive, dramatic. They slapped labels on your forehead like name tags. Paranoid, unstable, bitter. You were the only one in the room smelling smoke, while everyone else insisted, no fire here, you're just imagining it. You said they're lying. They said, you're confused. You said, this is abuse. They said, you're making it up. You said, I saw what happened. They said, you need help. And little by little, that's the part that really hurts, isn't it? You started to wonder, wait, am I crazy? You replayed every conversation at 3 a.m. You stared at the ceiling, rewriting history in your head, trying to figure out where you went wrong. You wrote paragraphs you never sent. You typed, deleted, typed again. You cried in bathrooms so nobody would see. You practiced being chill, being less much, being smaller, just to survive another day around people who built their comfort on top of your doubt. They were building a whole mansion on your silence. And here's the sick part. They didn't just ignore you. They performed innocence. They put on that I care about you face. They told others, I'm really worried about them. They're not okay mentally. They spun this little narrative where they're the hero who tried their best, and you're the ungrateful, unstable villain. Gaslighting. That word doesn't even feel big enough for what they did to you. They didn't just mess with your mind. They tried to rewrite your entire reality. And you sat there, questioning your own memory like it was a glitchy video you couldn't fully trust. But here's where it gets interesting. Because while they were running around, smiling in public and stabbing in private, someone else was watching. Someone else was paying attention to the things everyone dismissed. Someone else took screenshots, saved voice notes, remembered dates, details, timelines. Someone noticed the way their stories never lined up. The way they slipped up when they thought nobody was paying attention. The way your version stayed consistent, even when you were shaking, even when you were exhausted, even when you had every reason to just shut up and move on. And that person, yeah, that someone, they finally said, no, they're not crazy. I can prove it. You know what that moment is? That's your reality snapping back into place. All those times you stared at yourself in the mirror asking, maybe I really am the problem. All those breakdowns you had in secret, so you'd still seem functional in front of everyone else. That moment just walked in the room like, nope, you were right. They were wrong. And that hits deep, doesn't it? Because you didn't just lose arguments. You lost years of self-trust. You lost friendships that chose the easy story over the true one. You lost sleep, appetite, confidence. Maybe you even lost pieces of your career, your family, your sanity. You swallowed so much disrespect just to keep the peace that it started to taste normal. Let me ask you something ugly. How many times did you apologize for things that weren't your fault? How many times did you text, I'm sorry if I misunderstood, when deep down, you knew you didn't misunderstand a damn thing? How many times did you walk away from a conversation thinking, why does it always end with me feeling like the villain? You bent yourself into origami just to fit inside their version of events. You made your truth smaller, softer, quieter, so you wouldn't cause drama. But here's the punchline. They were the ones writing the script. You were just trying to survive inside it. And now the script is cracked wide open. There's video, there's audio, there are messages, there's documentation, there are witnesses, there's a timeline that only makes sense if you were right from the start. You know what that means? That crazy label. It was never yours to carry. They stapled it onto you because that was easier than looking in the mirror. So listen to me, because this part is important. You weren't crazy. You were early. You saw the problem before everyone else wanted to admit it existed. You saw the cracks in their halo. You saw the monster behind their smile. You weren't unstable. You were awake. And awake people are dangerous in a world that runs on lies. Now there's someone with evidence. Someone who's not just shrugging and saying, that's messed up. Someone who's saying, I'm willing to go all the way with this. I'm willing to stand next to you. I'm willing to fight. Do you understand how rare that is? Most people see injustice and go, damn, that's crazy. Scroll, swipe, move on. But this one stayed. This one collected proof. This one chose you over convenience. They're not just showing up with words. They're showing up with receipts. And now they're coming for your justice. But here's the twist. Justice isn't just them getting caught. Justice isn't just some legal outcome or public exposure. Justice starts inside you, because for so long, you internalized their version of you. The too much, the overdramatic, the broken one, the unstable one. So even if the whole world suddenly says, wow, you were right, if you don't update that story in your own head, you'll still walk around like the accused. But you're not on trial anymore. You're the witness. You're the survivor. You're the one who made it through the psychological war zone and still remembers what actually happened. You're not the villain in this narrative. You're the glitch in their script that refused to be edited out. Let's talk about that rage boiling in your chest, though, because I know it's there. The part of you that thinks, greater than if this proof existed all along. Greater than why did I have to go through all that alone? Where was this person when you cried yourself to sleep? Where was this evidence when you were getting side-eyed and whispered about? Where was justice when your name was getting dragged while theirs stayed clean? It's okay to feel angry about that. That's not you being negative. That's your nervous system finally realizing I wasn't the broken one. Something was done to me. You have every right to be furious, but don't let that fury eat you from the inside. Aim it, point it, use it. That rage, that's energy. And energy can either explode randomly or be focused like a laser. This is where the Joker part comes in, yeah? Because the world expects you to just take the apology, take the oh wow you were right, and calmly move on like nothing happened. Smile. Be gracious. Be the bigger person. Shake hands. Accept the half-hearted "we didn't know" from people who never bothered to ask. But you're not going back to playing that polite little role. You're not going back into the box they buried you in. You're not interested in being the quiet, tidy version of yourself who doesn't make anyone uncomfortable. You've seen too much to go back to small. You know what happens when proof finally lands on the table? all their little stories start to fall apart. The lies don't line up. The masks crack. The fake concern, the fake innocence, the fake confusion. It all starts to look ridiculous under the light of evidence. Suddenly the people who called you crazy are stumbling over their own words. Suddenly the ones who said, "That doesn't sound like them," are watching a video of exactly them doing exactly what you described. Suddenly the "let's not jump to conclusions" crowd is face to face with conclusions they can't escape. And you're standing there like, "This is what I was screaming about while you told me to calm down." But here's the real power move. You don't use this moment to prove you're normal. You don't use this moment to beg to be accepted back into their little circle. You don't use this moment to say, "See, I'm not crazy. Please like me again." No. This is where you evolve past caring, whether they like you at all. You don't need their approval anymore. You don't need their validation anymore. You don't need their, "Wow, I misjudged you" confession to sleep at night. You've got something better now. Your own mind back. Justice isn't just them being exposed. Justice is you refusing to shrink back down. Justice is you saying, greater than, "I will never again apologize for seeing clearly." Justice is you trusting your instincts the next time you smell smoke, even if everyone else is saying, "Relax, it's fine." Justice is you walking away at the first sign of manipulation instead of waiting for the fire to reach your room. Justice is you setting boundaries so high they need a ladder to get near you. And you're not handing out ladders anymore. This someone who's coming with proof, they're important, yeah, but don't get it twisted. They're not the hero of your story. You are. Because they saw something, but you lived it. They collected evidence, but you survived the war zone that created it. They're brave for stepping up now. But you were brave when nothing and no one had your back. Don't erase your own courage just because you're finally being believed. You weren't weak all this time. You were strong enough to hold on to your truth in a world that insisted it didn't exist. That's not weakness. That's spine of steel type strength. And look, I know part of you wants revenge. Not just justice, revenge. You want them to lose what you lost. You want them to feel what you felt. You want their world to crack the way yours did. That's human. Don't shame yourself for that, Shadow. You went through hell. It's natural to want the flames to spread. But here's where things get strategic. If you let revenge drive the car, you end up in the same ditch they came from. Because they lied to look powerful. They manipulated to stay in control. They twisted the story to protect their image. You're not here to become them with better evidence. You're here to be different. Let the evidence do what the evidence does. Let the truth burn what it needs to burn. But you focus on building. Building a life where your nervous system isn't constantly braced for impact. Building relationships where being honest doesn't feel dangerous. Building a version of yourself that doesn't flinch every time someone says, "Can we talk?" Think about who you are now compared to who you were before they did all this. Back then, you still thought everyone had good intentions. You gave benefit of the doubt like candy. You ignored red flags because you didn't want to be negative. Now, you read energy. You catch patterns. You notice contradictions. You hear what people don't say. You're not naive anymore. And yeah, that hurts. But it also protects you. You're sharper. You're wiser. You're less easily fooled. That's part of your justice, too. you're harder to break now. So this is what I want you to do with this moment. When you hear, "We have proof," when you see the screenshots, the recordings, the files, I want you to let something inside you unclench. You've been holding your breath for years. You've been living in defensive mode, constantly asking, am I overreacting? Am I making this up? Is it really that bad? Let this moment answer that. You are not imagining it. You are not exaggerating. You are not unstable. You are outnumbered. You are outvoted. You are outtalked. You are outperformed by people who lie better than you pretend. That's all. From now on, when your gut speaks, you don't argue with it. You don't gaslight yourself on their behalf. If something feels off, you don't need a full courtroom of witnesses to justify walking away. You've already lived the consequences of ignoring your intuition. You don't need another round. And remember this, someone stepped up for you now because somewhere, deep down, you never fully abandoned yourself. You may have doubted, you may have broken down, you may have gone quiet, but you never completely erased your truth. And that small, stubborn part of you, the one that kept saying, "No, I know what I lived through," that part attracted the person who finally said, "I see it too, I've got your back." That's your spirit refusing to die. That's your mind refusing to be rewritten. You held on long enough for the proof to catch up. So yeah, they're coming for your justice. They're coming with evidence. They're coming with your name cleared. They're coming with everything they need to dismantle the lie that almost destroyed you. But you're coming for something bigger. You're coming for your power, your voice, your self-respect, your peace. You're coming for a life where you don't twist yourself into knots, trying to be believable to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. You're not here to convince anyone anymore. You're here to be, unapologetically, honest, sharp, aware, uncomfortable for liars, a walking reminder that the truth can survive being ignored, denied, mocked, and buried. Because look at you. They tried to make you doubt your own mind. And you're still here. You're still here. And that alone ruins their whole script. You were supposed to fold. You were supposed to shut up, disappear, maybe even self-destruct a little. You were supposed to turn on yourself so hard that they never had to face what they did. Instead, you're sitting here, listening, breathing, with your mind slowly clicking back into place. That scares them more than any screenshot on Earth. Because think about it for a second. They didn't just attack your story. They tried to assassinate your sense of reality. And a person who gets their reality back, they don't go back to regular programming. You walked through psychological warfare with nothing but your gut and sheer stubbornness, and somehow you still came out with a pulse and a memory. That alone already makes you different from the version of you they thought they were breaking. You know those people who say, "It wasn't that deep." Yeah, it was that deep. It was deep when you started doubting your own memory. It was deep when you stared at a text thread and thought, "Did I imagine the tone?" It was deep when you felt insane for reacting to something that was actually insane. It was deep when your body flinched before your brain could explain why. Every time they brushed off what hurt you, a part of you learned, "My pain doesn't matter." Every time they twisted what happened, a part of you learned, "My perception can't be trusted." Every time they acted like you were extra, a part of you learned, "Maybe I'm broken." You didn't just lose trust in them, You lost trust in yourself. And that's the part that hits hardest when the evidence finally shows up. Because when someone comes in with proof, saying, "You were right," you're not just thinking, "Wow, they were lying." You're thinking, "I've been carrying their lie inside my head for years." That's why your hands shake. That's why your chest feels weirdly tight and hollow at the same time. That's why a part of you wants to cry and laugh and scream all at once. Your nervous system is trying to reboot after being gaslit into blue screening. You were running corrupted software the whole time. Their voice, disguised as your inner critic. You're dramatic. You're unstable. You're the problem. It talked in your voice, but it wasn't yours. And as soon as proof shows up, there's this tiny electric moment where it glitches. That voice stutters. It goes, "Wait, what if I'm not the problem?" That's the moment I'm interested in, because that's the doorway. You know what really messes them up? Not the evidence itself, not the messages, not the recordings. It's you, refusing to collapse when their mask finally slips. They expect you to be either completely destroyed and useless or bloodthirsty and reckless. Both of those make you easy to dismiss. If you're a wreck, they point and say, "See? Unstable." If you're wild with revenge energy, they say, "See? Dangerous." You being clear, grounded, calm in a dark, unsettling way, that terrifies them. There's a kind of quiet that's scarier than shouting. You're stepping into that. You're not deranged. You're not foaming at the mouth. You're just done playing dumb for their comfort. It's that energy of greater than "I see everything now," greater than "I remember everything," greater than "and I'm not gaslighting myself about it anymore." That's Joker energy right there. Not the cartoon chaos, the unnerving clarity, the part of you that looks at the whole situation and goes, "Oh, the game was rigged from the beginning." All those times they forgot what they said. All those "I never said that" moments. All those "you're twisting my words" accusations. You weren't crazy. You were talking to someone who edits reality mid-sentence. And you kept trying to have a logical conversation inside their funhouse mirror. Every time you said, "Look, this hurt me," they didn't address the hurt. They attacked your ability to feel hurt. You were playing chess. They flipped the board and blamed you for the mess on the floor. Now the receipts are sitting there like, "Actually, here's the board. Here's every move. Here's the exact moment they lied." You know what that does? That gives you back context. You stop wondering if you overreacted. You stop digging through your own memories like a crime scene. You stop asking, "Was I too harsh?" and start asking, "How did they manage to sleep at night?" And something inside you straightens its back. You start seeing your old self with different eyes. That version of you that kept speaking up. You used to cringe thinking about them. You used to think, "Why couldn't I just stay quiet?" Look again. They weren't embarrassing. They were brave. They were outnumbered, shaking, not fully believing themselves anymore. And they still said, "This isn't right." That's not crazy. That's courage. The world loves calling people crazy when they don't fold correctly. You didn't collapse on cue. You didn't break in a way that made anyone else comfortable. You got loud at the wrong time. You cried in the wrong room. You told the truth to the wrong person. You messed up the vibe. They weren't trying to protect truth. They were trying to protect comfort. Your voice was bad for business. Apologies are expensive. Accountability is expensive. Admitting you were wrong costs ego, status, control. Easier to shove you into the unstable box and move on. And yet, here you are, with proof landing like a hammer on the glass. Kind of funny, right? They gambled everything on you never being believed. And the universe handed someone the exact receipts they never wanted to exist. There's another layer to this that eats at you. The people who watched and stayed quiet. Not the main villain, the side characters. The ones who saw things, heard things, felt in their gut that something was off. But they chose silence over discomfort. You begged them with your eyes. You hinted. You vented in half sentences. You dropped little pieces of the truth to see if anyone would catch them. They shrugged. They changed the subject. They said, "Yeah, that sounds rough," and went back to their life. And you felt abandoned by people who technically didn't do anything. That didn't do anything is exactly the problem. Silence is never neutral. It always tips the scale toward whoever has the most power. You were screaming underwater while they stood poolside saying, "I don't really want to pick sides." And now evidence is here, and suddenly people want to act shocked. Wow, I had no idea. It didn't seem that serious. If I'd known it was that bad. You did know. You just didn't want to get your hands dirty. And yeah, that stings. It makes your chest feel weird.